Well, it looks like the wonderful StreamYard will not let me do my opening anymore. I have to pay, which I think is very stupid on your behalf. They only let you do their countdowns, their free stuff. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Greed is a horrible thing. But today, I want to talk, since this is Pulp Fictions, we're going to talk about a really awesome graphic novel I read. It's a thickie. The Grendel versus the Shadow. And it is written by Matt Wagner, drawn by Matt Wagner, with an assist by Brennan Wagner, which is obviously a family member. This is an incredible book. For those of you who don't know, Matt Wagner is an incredible writer. He created the Grendel back in the 80s under Comico or Kamiko. Okay. And this is of the original Grendel, the master assassin and criminal Hunter Rose. All right. And he also wrote the Shadow Year One series, wrote and drew it, which was pure Pulp Fiction, and it was great. Okay. So who could tell the story better on his own creation and a character he wrote the year one for than Matt Wagner? Also, he created the story Mage, if you're not familiar with it, about the return of King Arthur and Merlin. Yeah, that's what Mage, the hero discovered, was all about. Good stuff, guys. And many other fantastic books. Like Matt Wagner was the writer for the entire Sandman Mystery Theater run, which went over 70 issues, and I believe one or two annuals. Yeah, one annual. Okay. The artwork in here is stunning, as you can see, and very pulp. Hunter Rose, the original Grendel, incredible. The whole premise is Grendel is after a very ancient Chinese artifact, which is very powerful. It actually allows you to travel through time. He gets his hands on it, reads the scroll, and teleports him back to 1930s New York. Yeah, 1930s New York. Where he gets the idea, with his modern day knowledge and his skills, to take over all the New York gangs and usher in a new era. And of course, Lamont Cranston, Margot Lane. For those of you who don't know, Lamont Cranston is the mask of the Shadow. Like Batman, the Shadow is the real persona, and Lamont Cranston is the mask he has to wear. And Batman's a direct ripoff of the Shadow, but that's another story. Couple of things we get to really learn about the Shadow is that when he wants to, his shots never miss. I got kitties fighting, and good old Sparta here is at the middle of it, so let's move him. But look at the art. I mean, the art. The art. I mean, he really knows the Shadow. Matt Wagner really gets him, you know? And Hunter Rose is accumulating gangs, slowly but surely taking over. The Grendel himself will go out and assassinate anyone who doesn't want to join with him. Just phenomenal stuff, guys. I can't. And the first encounter between the Shadow. Yep. Oh, you want to read the Shadow, Sparta? The Shadow is awesome. Okay. The is coming up. And for the first time ever, the Shadow and Grendel meet. That was a cover for it. That is gorgeous. They're about to square off. And the first time ever, the Shadow misses Grendel. That's never happened in the career of the Shadow. The Shadow never misses unless he wants to. He's just trying to scare someone, you know? It's almost like the Shadow and Grendel are two sides of the same coin, much like the Joker and Batman. And Grendel thinks he's got the upper hand, but we know that the Shadow is a master martial artist and basically paralyzes him with the nerve clusters. And he's about to kill Grendel. But Grendel recovers, gets a sucker punch in, and runs off. And the coolest thing, the Shadow finds out how he got here, what he's going to do, and how he's going to do it. And at the end, they have their final confrontation. The Shadow already knows that Grendel is good enough to avoid his shots. And right as Grendel is about to make his big move with one of the mafioso's daughter to seize control of everything and everyone in the underworld in New York, the Shadow comes in. The guns are great against the gangsters, but do very little against Hunter. One of Grendel's own people shoot him in the side, and he's trying to escape. Shadow's not going to let him. And that's when the Shadow pulls out freaking moon blades, man. Just awesome, awesome greatness. to go one-on-one. Moonblades were an ancient Chinese short sword weapon, specially designed to handle people who use swords and spears. I forget the actual Chinese name for them. And both of them give as good as they get. Grendel's already bloodied and weak. He gets more bloodied and weak. The Shadow is busy taking out the henchmen. Grendel gets away with the device because he got it back from the Shadow, who was going to send him back anyway. But, you know, the Shadow's like Batman. He doesn't let anyone go. So he shoots up the autogyro. It's going to crash. He reads the incantation of the device again. And he goes back to modern day. And then the story ends with Lamont Cranston and Margot talking about the situation, and she was going to inherit millions from a very wealthy aunt who died, and she was going to leave the Shadow, but she decided not to. And he's back in the future. Grendel is, as you can see, contemplating his defeat at the hands of the Shadow. And that's how the story ends. Incredible book, well worth reading. The art, the story, everything. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 9. Okay, I really do. I give it a solid 9. The only way I would have given this a 9.8 or a 10 is if the Shadow utterly defeated Grendel. But I don't think Matt Wagner could bring himself to have his own creation be utterly destroyed. You know? Really great book, though, guys. Really great book. All right. Find it cheap, grab it. It's well worth the read. You're going to enjoy it. All right. Now, stuff you can expect me to do coming up. My next video that I'm going to review is the collected works of Mike Kaluda's The Shadow from the 1970s. It's a hardback called The Private Files of the Shadow. And there's even one brand new Mike Kaluda Shadow story in this at the end. Okay, so yeah, awesomeness. And then October, I do not celebrate Halloween. Okay, I mean, come on, you know. But from the book reading point of view, the booktube community has what's called the Occult Investigator October, where you read books about occult investigators. And they have it very rigidly structured, and I'm not cool with that. Oh, that's one of my Egyptian boys you see over down there. My favorite occult investigator of all time, other than X-Files, is Kolchak, the Night Stalker. And yes, there are tons of novels. These are all put out by my favorite company who keeps Pulp Fiction alive, Moonstone Books. Okay, and I've got 3 of the novels here, plus the Kolchak the Night Stalker 50th anniversary celebration trade paperback that I kickstarted. Okay. And these are actual novels, as you can see. So I will be reading all 4 of these for October. We've got C.J. Anderson writing Kolchak the Night Stalker, The Lost World. So Kolchak and dinosaurs, guys. That's going to be over the top. That's pulp. Okay, Kolchak and dinosaurs. All right. And then by Martin Powell. This is an exclusive Moonstone.com edition, so you could only get it online. Is Kolchak the Night Stalker, the Mothman Requiem. And yes, it is an actual novel. Then you've got Kolchak Nosferatu. It's a whole bunch of wonderful short stories. Okay. In here. So I can't wait to read that. And then lastly is Kolchak the Night Stalker, the 50th Anniversary Edition. I read it when I first got it back in, I think this was 2023. Let me see. I can't remember. Let's look at the date. No, 2022. So I kickstarted this 3 years ago. And it does have comic stories in it and prose pieces. And it goes all the way from the beginning when he's a teenager to the last Kolchak story ever. And there's even a story in here where he runs into Mully and Skolder of the X-Files, which was Chris Carter's original plan. They wanted to have Kolchak on X-Files, but they couldn't because of rights issues and all that. But the actor Darren McGavin did end up being in 2 or 3 episodes of the X-Files. Okay. But still, it's going to be fun. And I will report on these. This I've read before. I already know it's awesome, but it's good to reread it because, like I said, I haven't read it in 3 years. These I've never read yet, so that's going to be fun. And then I'm going to do some reviews of my other stuff, like the Scarlet Shroud, the Purple Fear, or Purple Scar. All that stuff, the Green Hornet book I got, all that fun stuff. Since I can't put up any opening and closing videos thanks to, StreamYard, I will end it here. God bless you all. And I really look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks for watching and hope you have a wonderful day.